Hey everybody, it's Zach from Myshire Farm. Welcome to our Sunday Night Live. We are now back on track. Last week we missed because of the Super Bowl, but we are back on track. We'll be doing this every week. So very excited about that. Let me get set up here and then we will get going. So again, welcome everybody. We're all glad you're here. Um, We've been missing a lot of the Sunday Night Lives. I've got a lot of stuff going on, and some videos will be coming out next week explaining a few of those things. So stay tuned for those. One's going to be posted tomorrow. But we are back on our Sunday Night Lives, and that is a live question and answer. So if you have any questions about Coturnix quail, that is why we do this. We'd be happy to have your questions. You just type those into the chat section. I will read them off and answer those as quickly as I can. At the very beginning of our lives every week, we do a little announcement time. And there's not a lot of announcements tonight because I'm doing a bunch of videos this coming week. So I'll spare you the boredom from all that, but I do have a lot of things coming your way in the next week and 2 weeks. I've got a lot of stuff going on in the next 2 weeks that we'll be sharing with everybody. Now, we do a couple fun things here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Number one, obviously, it's questions. Ask your questions. We'll get to you as quickly as we can and answer that for you so we can better help you on your Coturnix quail adventure. And number two, if you want to let us know where you're from, it's always interesting to see where all the quail people are at in the world. Number three, if you've hatched any eggs from us in the past week and have not given us the hatch rate, you're more than welcome to do so on here, and we'll write those down for our records. We are sitting at a 72.3% hatch rate on shipped eggs for the year, so I'm very excited about that. We actually had two 100% hatches this week, and one person that ordered 240 and got a 78%, and one person that ordered a 960 and got an 88%. So very excited about the hatch rates going around here. Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff going on, so stay tuned for some videos that will be posted tomorrow and further down the week as we will be updating you on the things we've been doing since September. But we are back as far as every Sunday we'll be doing this again, so you're more than welcome to stay tuned. This is more of a community setting. So we just kind of have fun. Again, let us know where you're from. We can see where everybody's at in the quail world and have a good time together, support one another. And by supporting, if you can, just hit the like button and support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Helps the channel grow and makes me feel like I'm doing something good. So support the channel by doing that. But other than that, we're just going to get into the comments tonight. And like I said, a lot of our announcements that usually I do at the very beginning, I'll be actually doing specific videos on. And the one that I will be posting tomorrow, I am more excited about than probably any video I have posted in the past 3 years. And I can't wait to share that with you. So make sure you watch that video tomorrow. All right, I'm going to take a drink and then we will get started. Maybe. Yep, that hit the spot. All right, here we go. Fat Country's in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here from Tampa, Florida. Feather Connections Homestead's in the house. Says, hey, 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 from Provo, Utah. Can't wait to hear if there's any new announcements from Zach tonight. Again, I'm going to be holding those out or off until later on this week, but we got some big things in the works for sure. Esperanza's in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Bill is in the house. I ordered Tibetan Rosettas. I ordered 60, hatched 50. That is wonderful to hear. You did send me that, so I already have that written down. But congratulations on the hatch. You did absolutely amazing. Congratulations. Joy is in the house from Western Oregon. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Chris is in the house from Texas. Welcome. Winita Fields is in the house. Pettimall Farm is in the house, like number 4. Hey, y'all from southern middle Tennessee. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Laura Wallace is in the house from Montana. We are all over the place tonight, guys. That's pretty cool. Patty's Garden Feathers is in the house. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Let's see. Joe Sandy 1822 is in the house from southeast Michigan. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Obviously, Vase Place is in the house, and Ed Got Bait. They are both blue in the comment section. They are my moderators. They do a great job on handling things in here until I get to the questions. They usually try to answer the question before I get to it as well in the chats. But we will get to it, I promise, so be patient with me. I will give you a little heads up on two things that we've got. Well, no, I won't. I'll give you a heads up on one thing that we've got going on, and that is we are starting to plan QuailCon 2023-24. Holy cow. 2024. So on my to-do list this week is to reach out to a couple different groups, and we're going to start planning that this week. So we should have that done in the upcoming weeks, which is very exciting. Also, I was invited to a homesteaders convention to speak at. It is, I should probably know this, but it's the very end of June. I think it's like June 29th through July 1st. I think so. It's in Iowa. It's called Murray Fest. You can check that out online at murrayfest.com. They've got a lot of amazing speakers, and I was very honored to be invited this year. They've asked us to come down a day early. We're going to have a dinner with all the speakers the night before, and a lot of homesteaders, a lot of YouTube influencers and things like that. So I'm hoping that we can get the word out about Coturnix quail and get more people involved with self-sufficiency with Coturnix quail. So I'm very excited about that, and a little nervous about speaking. So we'll see how that goes. But we will be doing a video on that as well. But that's kind of a cool thing that was completely finalized this week. S.O. Swanson's in the house from the Mississippi Delta. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Let's see. Carrie Knapp is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Long time no talk to. Short Pickens Farms in that, or I'm sorry, Short Pickens Quail is in the house from Missouri. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Josh is in the house. Welcome. Show Me Bunnies and More is in the house from Washington, Missouri. New Quail Mama. Well, congratulations. Good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'd be happy to help in any way we can. And we wish you the best of luck. Dragon Girl's in the house. Welcome. Jason Foreman's in the house. Welcome. Joe Sandy says, thanks for answering my text a couple weeks ago. Not a problem. Happy to help. And we do have a lot of different options on our website, and I'm very proud to say that we are not on a wait list on any of our eggs or live quail. As of right now, at this time last year, we were on about a 4-week wait. We worked extremely hard September, October, November, December, January to make sure that we increased our numbers dramatically so that we weren't on such a wait. And so far, it is working. I'm very excited about that, so make sure you check that out. Let's see. And if you are new to quail, obviously I've got a ton of YouTube videos on, on our YouTube channel that we can try to help you out with. So if you have any specific questions that you come up with after tonight, if you have any now, feel free to ask. But after tonight, you can always type into the YouTube search bar, you know, Chick Fatality by Myshire Farm or Feed by Myshire Farm, and those videos will come up. Those are obviously free to you. We're going to be doing the YouTube live every Sunday at 7 going forward, so I'll be here every Sunday answering any questions you got. But if you are new and you're really getting interested in it and you want everything in one place, I highly recommend you check out quailuniversity.com. There's a Quail 101 course that you can take. It's $49 and the course is yours forever. And it is from start to finish everything that you need to know about raising quail and being successful at it. And it is tabbed and linked and chaptered and all that stuff, so that, you know, it's step-by-step instructions, which is really nice. Comes with a lot of spreadsheets and handouts, some extra stuff like that. And I highly recommend you checking that out. We have did that almost a year ago, not quite a year ago. We posted that and created that. And so far, we still have 100% satisfaction rate. We have 100% 5-star reviews. And I just think that's super cool. It took a lot of time, energy, and effort and money, but it's really helped out a lot of people and increased their hatch rates, and it's well worth it. Absolutely well worth it. I would guarantee it. So make sure you check that out as well. Erica Willis is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Lisa Gerton is in the house. Welcome. Jason, is it normal for quail to shed a lot of feathers? Well, there would be two reasons why they would do that. Number one, they're molting, which is a normal thing, and they usually do about twice a year. So that would be a normal thing. Usually they don't molt, and the first molt is usually between 6 and 8 months old, and then it really varies in environment after that. If they're kind of new, well, there's actually three reasons. If they're new, or like if they're still in the brooder, so if they're between day olds and we'll say 4 weeks old, and they're shedding a lot of feathers, it's because they're too hot, and so you need to take some of that heat off. And if they're in the cages but they're still under 6 months old, then that usually means that they're being overbred. And so that usually means you have too many male to female ratio. So we recommend 5 hens to every 1 male. You can do 4 hens to every 1 male. But if you have less than that, if you have, a 1-to-1 ratio or 3 hens to 1 male, you will be losing a lot of feathers because the male will be overbreeding them. So those are the 3 things you'd want to look at. Good question. And if you want to follow up with that, feel free to do so. Kevin Short's in the house from North Carolina, and Buster in Oklahoma, and Jason from Alabama. So welcome all 3. Jesse Mills is in the house. Good evening, everyone. I missed 2 weeks ago as we were celebrating Loretta's 8th birthday. Well, happy birthday, Loretta, and we're glad you're back. Tanya Ranger's in the house from Alberta, Canada. Welcome. We're glad you're here. A. Jones is in the house from the northeast tip of Ohio. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Don Skins in the house from South Mississippi. Welcome. Stephanie's in the house, says, love those hatch rates. Absolutely. I do too, especially with all the cold. Erica Willis is in the house. Of the 128 eggs you sent, 119 were fertile and went to lockdown last night. That is wonderful news. I love to hear that. Obviously, keep me posted on the full hatch, but very exciting to hear. Congratulations. You're doing a great job. Let's see. Ed Got Bait says, Zach, how much snow did you get? We weren't actually here. I was out of town with Jenna. We took a road trip for business, and I can't tell you much more than that, but I would recommend watching the video tomorrow because you won't want to miss that. But we've been gone. So we actually drove through. We were somewhere else, and we drove through the snowstorm. They got quite a bit. Definitely not as much here. A lot of it was already melted by the time we got back, but it wasn't too bad at all. It's cold, but it's pretty much cold everywhere. So Scott's in the house from Texas. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Maria's in the house from Twin Oaks Farms in North Canton, Ohio. Welcome. We're glad you're here. A. Jones says, I'm ready for spring. Absolutely. My wife is as well. Stephanie's in the house from Arkansas. Just hatched quail eggs that a neighbor gave us. Very cool. Congratulations. Greg's Kitchen is in East Tennessee. Welcome. We're glad you're here. DB Dave is in the house from Texas. A couple Texans here tonight. Welcome all. So and Tara's in the house. Says, hello everyone from Gilroy, California. I hope everyone is doing well. We have wind advisory and flood watch over the next few days. Yep, be careful. We have that here as well. Not a flood watch, but we definitely have wind advisories and winter snow alerts and things like that going on. AJG is in the house. Says, hello everyone. It's been a very long time since I've been here. I'm getting back into hatching quail, so I need to refresh my knowledge from Toledo, Ohio. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Glad you're back. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We actually drove through Toledo yesterday. No. Holy cow. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. It's been a long day. It was a long couple of days. Tony's in the house from Northern Illinois. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Chris is in the house. I got out of raising for a while, but I'm happy to say I'm getting things ready to start back up again. Hope to be ordering soon. Congratulations. I'm glad you're getting back into it, and we wish you the best. I'm sure you're going to do great. Robert B's in the house from Texas. A lot of Texans tonight. Welcome, everybody. Chris is in the house. Chris and Cindy from Indiana. So Happy Quail Farm. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Adam Van Camp is in the house from Southern Colorado. Welcome. Erica Willis says, one early bird was already pipping and a second joined in the afternoon. Just waiting to see how many hatch. Well, hopefully 119. But congratulations, that's great. Buck is in the house. I just want to say hello to everyone. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. David Lister's in the house, says a big howdy from sunny Oklahoma, expecting a beautiful sunset on the lake tonight. Very cool. Congratulations, and I wish I was there. Let's see. Caleb's in the house, says need white quail timeline. Yeah, it's going to be a while. Probably 2-3 months before I'm willing to do it. Yeah, 2-3 months. Tim's in the house from Orlando. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Fat Country says I won 120 BTA and got an 80% hatch rate. Congratulations. That's a great hatch rate. BTA 120. That is wonderful. Congratulations. You did great. Chris Derry Rose Elrod's in the house from Little Rock, Arkansas. I've driven through there more times than I can count. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Jason's in the house from Clearwater Beach, upstate South Carolina. Great to be here. We're glad you're here as well. Welcome. Jason says, quail I got in from you guys are 7 weeks old. Will they start laying eggs soon, or is winter slowing that down? South Alabama. It doesn't have anything to do with the cold as far as when they start laying. It's the light and the environment. So they need 16 to 18 hours of light a day. If you're male heavy, so if you've got too many males in the cage, that will stress them out, and they won't lay as well or won't start laying because they're being overbred. But almost always it's a light issue. So 16 to 18 hours of artificial light a day is what they need to start laying. Ours start laying at about 5.5 weeks old, but we've got our environment pretty locked in, considering how much we do it. We should have it locked in, right? Gary Keck's in the house from Ohio. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Let's see. Jerry Adams in the house. When is y'all feed combo coming? Feed combo. As far as our new feeder goes, it's a good question. It's probably going to be a couple of weeks. George will be taking next week off. I was out of town for most of the week this week. We've been doing some things that I can't quite say until tomorrow, but it'll probably be a couple weeks before we can get that done. So and Tara says, yay for QuailCon 2024. Absolutely. Gardening for Better Health is in the house from Michigan. Welcome. We're glad you're here. S.O. Swanson says, I heard QuailCon, about time. Absolutely. Anime Gamers in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. So and Tara says, have fun at the event, Zach. Yeah. The Murray Fest, which is murrayfest.com. You can check that out and see all the speakers and some vendors and entertainment. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be a lot of fun, and a lot of homesteaders that either they don't know anything about quail or they don't raise quail, and so I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us to go in there and introduce them to what I think it should be one of the foundation homestead animals, and it's the perfect backyard animal. So hopefully we can relay our mission and passion to them. So we'll see how it goes. Aaron Gutros is in the house. Says hello everyone watching from South Louisiana. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Anime Gamer says he started early. I did start about a minute or two early, yeah. Andy's in the house. Greetings from Southwest Michigan. Truly enjoy these chats. Wonderful. We're glad to hear it. I was not in Michigan. I was in Pennsylvania. But I've been in Michigan. Backyard Oasis Homestead Living's in the house from New Mexico. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Short Pickens Quail is in the house. Welcome. AJG says, I'm hoping to get some jumbo hatching when I get my new incubator built. Will you still have jumbo eggs available in a few weeks? Yeah. We'll have many jumbo options. Right now we've got jumbo mix, jumbo wild, jumbo Egyptian, jumbo white wing, and everything. On the website it'll say 5 to 10 days out, but everything's going out in about 5 days. So yeah, we're keeping up on the hatch or on the shipments very well this year. I'm very, very pleased with the progress we've made. I don't know if it'll continue to be like that throughout spring, But we're 4 weeks ahead of schedule than we were last year, and we're 8 weeks ahead of schedule than we were the year before. And the year before that, all of our jumbos at this point in time were completely taken off the website because we were way too backed up. So when I say, I don't know if we've ever worked that hard in the barn. And I pride myself on working hard. But this year we really, we had a lot going on, that's for sure. Anime Gamer says, how much I miss. See people talking about QuailCon 2024. No information about it yet, but we are starting to plan it. So in the next couple of weeks, we should have some information up and going for you guys. James Collins is in the house from East Texas. Welcome, we're glad you're here. So when Tara says, Zach, is there a story behind the golden thumbs up? I don't know what a golden thumbs up is. Yeah, I don't know what a golden thumbs up is. So there might be, but I don't know anything about it. Lisa Girton is in the house. My eggs arrived February 12th in the incubator on the 14th. I'll let you know how they do. Wonderful, good luck, and we wish you all the best. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'm sure you're going to do great. If you can, real quick while I find my place again, if you can, hit the like button, support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. We try to get to 100 likes every live. So far, we've been hitting it consistently. I've been missing a while as far as doing the lives, but when we were back up and doing it back last year, we were hitting it every week. We hit it 2 weeks ago, and then last week I did not do the live because of, well, it was Super Bowl, and I like the Super Bowl. But we'd love to get to 100 likes. If you can support the channel, that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much for your support. Larry Ferris is in the house, says, have 4 babies just hatching, 245 to go. Thank you for all your help. Wonderful. Good luck. And I wish you all the best. I'm hoping that when you wake up in the morning, you've got about 200 more babies that just hatched. Megan is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. So when Tara says Quail University is awesome, absolutely. Make sure you check that out. Nuno is in the house from Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Welcome, we're glad you're here. Anime Gamer says, has anything new been added to Quail U? We usually add stuff to Quail University. We were doing it weekly, and now we're doing it about I would say it's being updated monthly. Maybe every other week. Yeah, I would say 1 to 2 times a week. That's how I'll say that. Bob Cole's in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Megan says, so excited. Got quail hatching now from the Myshire Jumbo Mix. Congratulations. That's wonderful to hear. I was actually at, Jen and I, we went for business somewhere that you'll find out tomorrow, so watch the video. But we stayed at some friends, and they had some quail that had hatched out from us. And I said, we're here. We can help you weigh the jumbos. And wow, I was super, super impressed. So I think you're going to be very excited. We weighed the jumbos, and they averaged over 10 ounces they'll be 6 weeks old tomorrow. We weighed them Friday, so they were not even 6 weeks old, and we were hitting anywhere from 8.8 to 10 plus. The largest we had was an 11.3 ounce male, which was super exciting. But I love to see those numbers, especially from our stock, but someone else raised them. So very excited about that. I think you're going to do great, and you're going to love them. I lost my spot because I went on a tangent. Greg says, do quail lose weight when molting? Sometimes. I mean, that's not abnormal. Sometimes they don't, but it's a 50-50. Or is it just less feathers that make it look that way? They do look a lot less without the feathers. So it definitely looks a lot more extreme than what it actually is because of the feather loss, for sure. Robert B says, does anyone have much success in sexing day-old chicks? You can't sex day-old chicks unless they're sexlings and they hatch out 2 different colors. But sexing chicks in quail, you cannot do. Unfortunately, wish you could, but you can't. Lisa is in the house. Says typo. I meant to type in the incubator on the 13th. Not a problem. Good luck. Wade is in the house from New Zealand. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Let's see. ELOAA Ministries is in the house. Says greetings from Ohio. Welcome. We're glad you're here. A. Jones says we need to work on our hatch rate for likes. 94 viewing and only 25 likes. We can do better. Absolutely. We're at 116 people watching with 85 likes, so our hatch rate is going up. Our like rate is going up. So that's pretty exciting. Support the channel by hitting the like button. I greatly appreciate it. D. Doll is in the house from Fort Worth, Texas. I just bought 100 jumbo brown baby quail from a local breeder. Awesome. Good luck. We wish you the best. Jason says, thank you. I need to work on sexing a bit more, I think. There you go. It takes time. I mean, don't get discouraged. It takes a few times, a few different hatches to get it down. Crystal's Quail and Cocktails is in the house. They are shed juvenile. They also shed juvenile feathers. They do, but they don't really miss their feathers at that time. They're kind of, the adult feathers are coming in. It's not like they're naked then. When they're molting, they literally almost become naked. Or if they're being overbred, then they are naked. But yes, that is true too. Ed Got Bates in the house says, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Absolutely. You really won't want to miss the video that I'm doing tomorrow. It's a very exciting thing for the quail community. I wouldn't say there's going to be a ton of information in the video, but it's really going to be something that I think is going to, it's been a long time in the works. We've worked really hard on it. We've spent literally thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours, a lot of work, a lot of stuff to make this happen, and I can't wait to announce it tomorrow on our video. Jason says, this last hatch I had some 3-week-old roosters start crowing. There you go. Very cool. I don't know if that's good, but they can get loud sometimes. Gardening for Better Health is in the house. I was questioning my quail of sores on their legs and feet. They live on a cage with a wire bottom I got from Minola Ranch. Is the wire bottom... I think you got cut off. Which wire bottom cause sores on quail legs, feet? Yeah. So they can. So the sores are going to cause bumblefoot, which is swelling of the feet and ankles. It looks a lot worse than what it is. They'll still be productive for you. To eliminate that, you really want to use PVC coated wire. As far as I know, Minola Ranch is only using PVC coated wire nowadays, but they weren't before. They have upgraded to all the cages are PVC coating, as far as I'm aware of. So if your bottom is not, then if you replace that with PVC coated wire, that will eliminate future bumblefoot or sores on the feet. PVC coated wire is a little bit expensive, so if you go with galvanized, then that kind of helps. Or you can kind of sand it down, try to make it more smooth, or I don't know where they would sell it anymore. We got it way back in the day, and it was this paint that you can paint the wire, and there's like a PVC coated layering. That worked pretty well. But when we redid all of our cages, we just bit the bullet and bought the PVC coated wire. But yeah, that's definitely the cause. Amanda's in the house says, hi, question about how long does it take for selling balut to get up and running? I handed out samples weeks before last. I'm pretty sure they were okay, candled twice. It really depends on your area. I've been out before. When we were doing the balutes, and going out and advertising for them, there would be times where I would go out and spend 5 hours driving all over Ohio, passing out business cards and some sampled eating eggs, and I would get, I don't know, 5 or 6 customers within 72 hours, which was awesome. And then I'd go out for 5 or 6 hours a couple weeks later and do it again, and would never get a call from any of them. So you just got to keep at it, but it's a hit or miss. You just got to keep doing it. Usually, if you don't, my rule of thumb when I was doing it is if I don't hear anything within 7 days, I'm going to a different area and doing it again. Because when we were getting calls, it was, a lot of them were within, almost all of them were within 72 hours, but it could be later on that day or the next day. And then we had a few stragglers on day 3, but when you find the right area, you'll get the phone calls fairly quickly. Tim W says, how long after placing males with females can I be confident that the eggs laid after will be fertilized? It's a good question. I'm just going to give you my rule of thumb and the best practice, and that is 7 days. So for the first 7 days, once we put the new cage together, I collect the eggs and we either eat them or I'll incubate them because I've got plenty of GQF incubators, plenty of space, and if the fertility is low, it's, I'll still get some out of it, kind of thing. If you've got limited space in your incubator or you're selling, for example, we don't sell any hatching eggs unless they've been together for over 7 days. So those 7 days while they're in the barn, they come to me because I've got the room. So if you're selling them, 7 days. If you're hatching them for yourself, just start collecting right away. The fertility will be a little low, but you'll still get some good ones out of it. So that hopefully that answers that question. I'm probably going to butcher this. I'm going to try not to, but Kosifira, I hope I said that correctly. You're more than welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. I am from Sacramento. Shout out for Linda helping me about quail and your videos too. Thank you. Well, no problem. Glad you're here. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Gardening for Better Health says, would wire bottom cage calls? Yep, we answered that one. Dee's in the house from Texas. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Velo's in the house from Michigan. A lot of Michigan tonight too. Welcome everybody. Maria is in the house. I will be ordering soon from Florida. We'll be ready for you. We won't be hatching out tomorrow or shipping out tomorrow because it's a holiday. But we'll be shipping out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, all this week. So we're here when you're ready. Kylene is in the house, says hello from Oregon. We'll be getting my first quail this year. Awesome. Congratulations. I wish you all the best. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. John's in the house. My ratio of hens to roosters is off on a group of 10 hens and 2 roosters because one of the roosters is being beat up. I have isolated the rooster any way of introducing him back after he heals up. Yes, you'll take the 9 that you have in the cage, or the 11 you have in the cage. You'll take them all out, put them in a small box that you can cover up, add the male back into the small box, leave them in there for, 30 minutes, an hour, doesn't really matter. Throw them all back into the cage and you should be good to go. But for more detail on that, you can type into the YouTube search bar, Introducing New Quail to an Existing Flock by Myshire Farm, and we have a detailed video on how to do that. So they don't start fighting. I lost my spot. Gardening for Better Health says, not sure what the size of the bottom is. How to best treat the problem. You can treat them. There's some ointments you can get, or you can try to drain the infection out. You can wrap their feet. There's things you can do. It's a whole lot of work. The big thing is to try to eliminate for future problems, and that would be to change it out for PVC coated wire. Jason says, got 195 in the incubator. Some should start hatching by Tuesday. Awesome. Good luck, and we wish you all the best. Bob Cole says, I'm from Texas too, but we have a ranchette in New Mexico now. Very cool. Congratulations. Robert B says, what's Myshire Farm's hatch rate like? When I hear people say 90 to 95%, I'm wondering how realistic it is. to do that consistently. Well, as far as as far as shipped eggs go, last year we averaged over 74% hatch rate. This year we're right around 72.5% hatch rate, but it's only mid-February. So we'll pick that up, especially when the weather gets a little bit better, it'll increase. I get questions about that a lot, like is it safe to ship in cold weather, or is it, in the summer, is it safe to ship because it's so hot, whatever. So we're averaging a 72 point something, I forget, 72.5, something like that, hatch rate right now on shipped eggs for this year, 2024. Last year, we ended with over a 74% hatch rate for the whole year. So we're talking, we'll say 1.5% hatch rate difference between right now, between January 1st and now, which has been very cold, compared to all year last year. The average hatch rate on shipped eggs globally or nationally is 50%. So we're doing extremely well. But as far as like, will my hatch rate really decrease or increase? It really doesn't matter. It matters how they're shipped and how fresh the eggs are. The weather really doesn't seem to affect them very much. Now, I am expecting the hatch rate to probably go up on average about 2 to 3% when it becomes springtime. But again, that 2 to 3% shouldn't discourage you. So I get asked that question quite a bit. Now, as far as hatching for ourselves here, we don't follow all the best practices because we've got so much stuff going on. Could we average a 90 to 95% hatch rate weekly? I think that's a little unrealistic. We average an 82% hatch rate. So I'm happy with 80 to 85%. We don't check it very often. We let it go and things like that. But yeah, I'm happy between 80 and 85%. We've had 100% hatches before. We've had 90% hatches. But on a consistent weekly basis, which we're hatching out 1.5 GQF incubators a week, which is what, like 1,400, 1,500, something like that, chicks a week. We average, on average, it's an 82%. And I'm happy with that, and we're not giving it a lot of energy and effort, and we just got the system down and we go. So could you average that if you really zone in and maintain it and really control it and you spend a lot of time with it? Probably. But I'm happy. I think 80 to 85% on your own eggs hatching is wonderful. Crystal's Quail says, I had an excellent hatch this year, Zach. Better than previous. I upped my chick price and selling the excess paid for the eggs plus. That's wonderful to hear. Congratulations. I'm hearing a lot of people do that this year where they're ordering eggs from us. And so like, let's say they want 15 quail, they're ordering like a 60 count and then having a great hatch rate and selling the chicks that they only wanted 15 and they had 50 hatch. They're selling those excess, and it's not only paying for the eggs that they bought, but it's like paying for their feed for a few weeks too. I'm hearing a lot of people do that, and it sounds like it's going extremely well for people. So congratulations and keep it up. Wade Michael says hello from New Zealand. Welcome. We're glad you're here. I have 4 cages with 1 roux and 2 hens each. Roos are from different part of the country. Then the hens, I'm going to try the spiral breeding technique. Need to get more hens? Yes, you need a lot more hens. I'd be very careful. I'm afraid you're going to walk out one day with dead hens because the roos will kill them. But if it's working for you so far, then keep it up. And you really don't need to do a spiral breeding program for Turnix quail, but it's not a bad idea too. So, if you, I don't want to say it that way. If you, just remember they're not as, inbreeding is not as important as other animals. They can, for example, if people order eggs from me, the way we do our breeding program, they can go 3 years before they would even consider opening or introducing new blood. And if you have multiple cages, you would never need to introduce new blood. You need at least 3 cages for that. And I've had a lot of my customers say that they're on generation 6 and they're still not seeing any issues. So Megan says, if I want 30 hens in an aviary, how many roos do I need? In an aviary, I do 7 or 8, which is a little bit higher than the 5-to-1 ratio, but you're going to have a lot more space. So I would do a little bit more than the 5-to-1, or a little less than the 5-to-1. I would do maybe a 3-to-1 ratio, so that'd be 10. Yeah, I'd probably do 7 or 8 is what I would do. Jason says, thank you for the great answers. Not a problem. Happy to help. Battleborn Urban Farms in the house says, good evening, everyone. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Hunter says, when is QuailCon 2024? It is, I don't know, Labor Day weekend. It's like August 29th this year. It'll be like August 29th through September 2nd or something like that. I don't remember. Something like that. Andrea Perry says, hello, my Myshire Celadon are in my hatcher and I'm waiting for the first ones now. Wonderful to hear. We actually were with some friends that got 100 Celadons from us that hatched out. They're about 6 weeks old, and we were looking at those. And number one, they had a great hatch rate. I think they had, God, they probably had a lot. They probably had 80 of them, maybe. I don't remember. I didn't count those. But they had a lot of Celadon, so great hatch rate. And I was so happy to see all the different colors. Very excited that we have a huge variety to choose from and a great mix of colors. I'm so excited about that. Chris says, a while back I ordered eggs to give away to a kid at beginning of the month when you do your giveaway. Was wondering if we could talk about that one day so I can donate more for a kid to start up. We'll actually we've rearranged the 18 under contest. We are starting that March 1st again. And we have rearranged that a little bit. So we will be talking about that and doing videos on that very shortly. Yeah. Let's see. Myshire is back. Absolutely. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Jaguar Andy, glad you're here. David Lister says we hatched out 10 jumbo white wings and 6 chucker partridge chicks in the same incubator a couple weeks ago. All are in the same brooder together and doing well. Quail are growing faster, of course. Absolutely. Congratulations. And we wish you the best. Ryan is in the house from Canada. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Andy's in the house. Says hi all from Kansas. Checking in. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Oh, the golden thumbs up. I don't know what that is. I don't know where it came from. Jenna just randomly put stuff in this office. I don't know why. She actually had 3 things up there, and I broke them. I think they're still behind that thing because I was scared to tell Jenna. That one must not have broke. It's kind of weird looking. I don't know why she would have that, but yeah, I don't know. No specific reason. Jesse Simmons is in the house. My quail beaks are out of control. They always tap on the side of the cage. Would giving them a bird cuddle bone help like the ones you give pet birds? They could. I've never done that before. But they could. I mean, they'll use it. Yeah, I've never done that. Battleborn Urban Farms is 107 watching, 55 likes. We're at 121 watching with 106 likes. So we did hit our goal. So thank you very much, everyone that hit the like button, supporting the channel and supporting the community. I really do appreciate that. That means a lot to me. If you have not yet, hit the like button, support the channel, and let's try to hit 130. Why not? Let's just up the number this week. Let's just try it. Let's see if we can get to 130 likes. Anime Gamer says, I've convinced my boyfriend to let me get rabbits, having talks with them. There you go. Well, good luck. And yep, the golden thumb. Yeah, I didn't even know it was in here. Gardening for Better Health is in the house. Thank you all for the input and advice. Good luck. Buck is in the house. Do you or anyone know anything about hatching time incubator? I raise rabbits and going to start on quail. I do not know anything about the hatching time incubators. I've never tried them, and yeah, I have no opinion on them at all. I don't know anything about them. Crystal's Quail says, why has sex link fertile eggs not been available this season and last? They are. You would just do half jumbo and half Egyptian, and then you would put those together. We did the sex links before, and it really confuses a lot of people because we can do it one way. If you put Egyptian males with wild hens, they will produce sex links every time, which means that they hatch out two different colors, only two colors, and one color is all hens from day one, and one color is all males from day one. However, if you put those babies together, you're going to get 50-50 of each color. 50% male and female, 50% male and female from both colors, because it only works with the Egyptian male and the wild female. So a lot of people want to hatch them out, but they want to make their own sex links. And so they have to hatch the eggs that they purchased. Then they have to have those chicks grow up. They have to put those together, hatch them out, and then take those and put the Egyptians with males, because when sex links hatch out, they hatch out opposite of what you need. So you need the Egyptian males and the wild females, and they hatch out wild males and Egyptian females. So the light red quail that hatch out are all chicks. You know that from day one. And all the dark brown, all are males. Except for that's not what you need to create a sex link. So it just got really confusing for people. So we took that off. But anytime you want to create a sex link cage, you would just order, whatever quantity you want, 30, 60, 90, whatever of the jumbo wilds, and then 30, 60, 90 of the Egyptians. Hatch those out, put the Egyptian males with the wild females. You got sex links for at least 2 years. I lost my spot. Anime Gamer says, I'm still trying to figure out what colors with him, but I'm talking to Andy about his silver foxes. Very cool. Good luck. Bill Thompson says, my birds hatched from you were very nice, but murder birds, LOL, have tried to breed that out. Going to try hatch one more set out of aggressiveness out before I give up and start over. We don't really have any issues with that. Usually it's an environmental issue. Usually it's a clogged feeder or not enough feeder space, or not the right male to female ratio, or it's like you've got one in there. So like there was a friend of ours that had some quail, and they had a couple of cages. They all looked great except for this one cage. Well, it just so happened that this one cage, the feeder got clogged up, and so they didn't catch it right away, and so they had like 3 of the quail in that cage die. They fixed the feeder, and then they just were really mean to each other. So we watched the cage. We found that there was there are 2 really aggressive males because they ran out of food, and so now it's like they're being very territorial. So when there is food, no one's allowed to have it, and things like that. So that could be an issue as well. So when Tara says, nice weight, Zach, thank you very much. I was very happy with those as well, but they did all the work. We just supplied some eggs. There is sex links, yep. Like I said, the Egyptian females, the wild males hatch out sex links every time. 2 different colors, one's hens, one's males every time. Dog's barking for some reason. Jesse Simmons is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Mojo23 is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Mojo23 says, in Quail University, do you always go into business information? I didn't see it on the course breakdown. We've got some videos about that, but no, it's not really a Quail for Profit or business course. It's a Quail 101 course to really help you, which personally I think is more important than doing anything else. Once you know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and you can easily explain it to other people for them to be successful, that's more important than understanding the business or how to get customers, because that's your repeat right there. As long as you're knowledgeable, you're willing to share, you're willing to take the time to do so, and you know what you're talking about, your business will come your way. So personally, I think Quail 101 is detrimental to a business course in Quail. But no, that it's more of a Quail 101 course. James is in the house from Louisiana, about to place an order. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. And you place it now, I'll probably get it out later this week. So good luck. Witch Doctor's in the house says we got our likes in. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. And thank you for supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Megan says, so far the hatchlings are mostly black with yellow, but one is reddish. What do you think the reddish will be from the jumbo mix? An Egyptian. Those will be Egyptians. Thanks, so cute. Any which way, there you go. Yep, jumbo Egyptian will be that. Crystal Quail says, I have Winola cages and no problems unless they're jumbo or older birds. Witch Doctor said, this is the first time we started the quail out in the extended family room. They are so dusty, can't wait for a shed. I believe that. Crystal's Quail says, Winola gives you a choice. Oh, there you go. There you go. I didn't know that. Nikki James says, Zach, you're killing us with anticipation. The video is coming out tomorrow, just tomorrow. It's really exciting, though. Let's see. Hunter's in the house says, what tips can I get on brooding chicks? Well, just a couple quick things. Number one, you'll want to type into the YouTube search bar, Brooders by Myshire Farm. Those are some videos that you can watch about the brooding process and go in more depth. I also highly recommend you check out Chick Fatality by Myshire Farm. That'll be the 5 top reasons for chick death. So how to prevent that and what to do and what to look for. And then just a few things. You really want it to be about 99 degrees the first day, and then you drop it a half a degree each day after that. They're in there for 3 to 4 weeks. You want 6 chicks per square foot. The temperature thing is kind of difficult, so you just got to watch them. If they're cuddled up around the heat source, they're too cold. If they're cuddled up away from the heat source, they're too hot. You really want them scattered all around. Put pebbles or rocks in the water so they don't drown, because they like to scuba dive, but they don't know how to swim and they're not very smart. I guess that's about it. At 3 to 4 weeks old, they need to go from 6 chicks per square foot to 3 quail per square foot. Those are some big ones. But yeah, I would watch the other videos for more in-depth information and a little bit slower process. Benny's in the house, says, good evening, Zach from Liberty, Texas. Welcome, glad you're here. Wade Michael says, spray or flex seal to coat wires. Yep, absolutely. So and Taylor said, truck bed liner paint. There you go. Mojo says, wait, we watch this to get inside information, no hint about tomorrow's video. Okay, I'm not supposed to, but yeah. Let's just say that you ever heard like the International Man of Mystery? Well, you know, I've been called before, like, you know, the quail guy, right? Well, I'm the quail guy in the States. Let's just say something's coming up. Pretty cool. Laura says, I use rabbit resting mats in my quail cages from Winola cages. This works great. No bumblefoot. I got the resting boards from Amazon. There you go. Good idea. And thanks for sharing. Dragon Girl says, I think you can get sex links by breeding Pharaoh hens and Egyptian males. That's correct. The offspring will be Pharaoh colored males and Egyptian females. Also correct. Absolutely. The males are very a dark brown, and the hens would be a light red. Ryan says, I thought your cages were 16 gauge galvanized half by 1. You have now gone to PVC. What gauge and spacing is it? I don't know. We did a video on it. It is PVC coated, and I think it's the main barn, I think, is 1x2s now. Could be 1x1. I'm pretty sure it's 1x2. Pretty sure it's 1x2. I don't know. We did do a video on it last year when we redid the cages, and I don't remember. I'd have to look. A lot of things go out of my brain nowadays, you know. But that's why I write everything down. Witch Doctor says, since moving to this green state, we can get 30%. First time the quail had the 30% until they were 9 weeks old. Boy, what a difference in weight it makes. We got some fatties here, absolutely. And good luck, and I'm glad you're liking where you moved. So Interior says, oh, I have news that will only be existing to this group. We have a new mail carrier, and we are not getting anyone else's mail and not missing any mail that we know of since the mail carrier changed. There you go. More exciting than it should be. I don't care. I'm stoked. There you go. It's the small little victories for sure. Robert B says, Myshire Farm, what about hatch rate on eggs that aren't shipped? In other words, what is a good target goal for me to hit? Yeah, 80 to 85%. If you can do 80 to 85% consistently all the time, then you are in good company. You're doing great. So that's what I would consider good. I think the 90 to 95 is a reach. Megan says, how long do you keep hatchlings in with the other eggs not hatched yet? We take ours out every 24 hours. So they hatch out on Sunday night. We take the first batch out Monday, put them in the brooder, and then we do it Tuesday and Wednesday. So we take ours out every 24 hours. Tanya says, have you ever experienced issues associated with vitamin or mineral deficiency using bagged feed from the feed store and concerned about the longevity of the vitamin mineral content of the feed? Yeah, I mean, you'll see that every once in a while. Some are, it's not like a color is more susceptible, but there are going to be some birds that are a little bit more susceptible to that than others. But not very often. It's not a common thing. And I wouldn't worry about it too much. As long as the feed is good, you really shouldn't have issues. And if you get one out of every 1,000, then, you know, it is what it is. And you probably don't want to breed that one anyway. Quail Keeper says, keeping good records of hatching rates is crucial. I do not trust my memory. There you go. Chuck says that's awesome with 80+%. Absolutely. I agree. If you're at 80 or above, then you're doing great. Doing great. If you're just starting out and hatching your own eggs, if you're in the 70s, I still think that's great. If you're more experienced, 80 and up is where you want to be at, in my opinion. Gamboogie's Garden says, good evening. I'm on day 10 of incubation. I'm looking forward to lockdown. Awesome. Good luck. And we wish you all the best. Wish you all the best. I think I said that wrong. Diana Tuttle from Tut Farms is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Kevin P says, that's a great idea. I just ordered some eggs from you. We'll do the next go around. There you go. Good luck, and we wish you the best. And I'll get them out as soon as I can. Gerald says, you still building a new Gigantor incubator and videoing it? I haven't fully decided yet. I don't want to really advertise. I don't think it's a great idea for a lot of people to build their own incubators. It's a great thought. It's a great idea. Very rarely does it work out. That you continuously, it's not a, for a majority of the time, it is not a consistent. There's consistent issues with people doing their do-it-yourself incubators. Not always, and some people get it down pat right away and stick with it. But more times than not, there's a lot of issues. So I don't know if I want to promote that. So I don't know yet. Robert B says, anyone have a well-proven method for treating hens with prolapse vent? I had one die yesterday after I treated her with poultry spray for a few days. Really, prolapsing doesn't happen very often. Again, it could be a stress issue, and if that's the case, and it's one out of the whole covey, then, you know, it happens, and that's just raising animals and homesteading and things like that. If you're getting multiple prolapse, it's definitely a feed issue. So we've never treated that. We've looked at the root cause and fixed the root cause. But yeah, I mean, either they fix themselves or they don't. That's really what it comes down to. But again, if you have one out of everything, then, you know, it was either stressed or something happened or something. If you have multiple, you've got a feed issue. That's what it comes down to. So that's the way I would look at it. Vay's Place says, Myshire Farm, remember the experiment I did took almost 20 generations before I got signs of inbreeding with your eggs. That's true. Yep, Vay's Place went 20 generations before she saw anything, and it wasn't that many. Tom says, hi, Tom from Oklahoma. I'm going to order eggs from you. Is the jumbo wild the largest quail that you raise? Absolutely. Yep, 100%. Greg says, any jumbo celadons? No. I wouldn't recommend it. I think that we can get there eventually. I think it's going to take some time. But when we tried to do celadons before, I was going straight to that. I wanted jumbo celadons. There's a lot of issues that you have. Number one, there's not a lot of diversity in celadons. Now, that was mainly the reason why I was so excited that you can get so many different colors from the celadons from us is because that's the first step in health. So now that we have so many different colors in our celadons, and they're breeding 100% true, they're not inbred anymore. So we can start taking things out, and the only way to make them jumbo weight is to inbreed. But because we have so many colors, we pretty much have a blank slate, where before you were inbreeding what was already inbred. You see what I'm saying? So, and then when you inbreed it to get the jumbo size, you have to mix new blood in once you're done so that you don't have inbreeding issues. Like it's a lot more complicated than what it sounds. But that we're taking it step by step. So we've got the colors, and that was the first part. That's the first step. Is we have multiple different, back in the day, and I don't know what's out there now, but it was like whites, tuxedos, maybe some, scarlets that you get celadons from. When we stopped at our friend's house that got celadons, they had Fab Fee, Egyptian, Tibetan, Growl Fee, Tuxedo. They had a couple pearls. They had Scarlet, Rosetta, Tibetan. They had whites. They had, I think there was, they had Scarlet Fee. And they had a couple wilds. So with all of that, we're going to be able to start moving those over and start working on that. But starting at a blank, let's say you order from someone and get some celadons in, and the majority of them are one or two colors. That usually means that they're inbred a lot, which is okay. You have to inbreed celadon to celadon. That's okay. But when you start working on the jumbo side, then you have to keep putting certain things together, and then you're just decreasing the health. So you want as many colors as you can so that you're not decreasing that health, and then you can work that back in to make them large and healthy. So it is possible, but I think it's still going to take some time for sure. That was a very long explanation. I don't know why it took that long. Steve Hogan's in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Psycho Ward 360's in the house. That's just saying thanks, Zach, for all you do and have done. We are grateful. Not a problem. I'm happy to help. And thanks for being part of the community. I appreciate it. Nunu says, I have some hens, the laying super large eggs. I changed my feed from 22 to 16%. That helps a little, but my jumbo Georgia bob whites, not as much. They're still laying 3 times bigger. How do I fix that? I don't know anything about bob whites. I'm sorry. But yeah, once they're about 8 weeks old, once they're laying, they really do not need that protein. In fact, that high protein can actually hurt them more than it can help them when they're laying eggs. Because with that high protein, you've got a low calcium, you've got a lower fiber, and those are the things that those hens need to be able to process and produce those eggs daily. So they're not getting every nutrient and all the vitamins that they need to help them smoothly pass that, which could be a big reason for prolapse, because they're overworking their body and it's more of a struggle. So yeah, you did that right. That's great. Ed says, thanks for the info earlier this week. Not a problem. Glad to help. Steve says, the 18-year and younger giveaway is so awesome. It started my son and my quail journey a few years ago. That is wonderful to hear. I remember that. And I'm glad you guys are still in it. That was a few years ago. That's awesome. And yes, Ed says, no one tell Jenna he broke her stuff. Witch Doctor said Jenna knows all. And I'm sure we'll just see if she knows. Let's just see. Yeah, she knows because it's gone. And I didn't clean it up, so she cleaned it up. She never said anything. It's fine. It's not a big deal. S.O. Swanson says, that means Jenna gave you a thumbs up. I'm sure it was another finger that she was giving me, but that's all she could find. But we'll see. That was months, a while ago. She would have said something by now. She's forgot about it. Billy Reed's in the house. Billy from South Mississippi. Any thoughts on Farm Innovators Pro Series Incubator? Is it? We didn't have it. So we've got a playlist on our YouTube channel called Quail Product Reviews, maybe something like that. And we've tested incubators and different things like that, waters and things like that, govies and thermometers. And so we've got a couple incubator reviews on there. The Farm Innovator, the Hovebator, the Nurturite 360. I think we did another one. I don't remember what it was. And here's the next surprise for you guys. We're starting another one this week. Now, it won't be available for about 3 weeks because we got to do the whole hatching process, but the incubator did come in right before our trip. So we'll see how this one goes. I don't know. So another incubator review's on its way. As far as the Farm Innovator goes, we did not have great success with that, but I do know that people have success with it. We didn't. I liked the Little Giant more than the Farm Innovator, but we didn't have great success. I don't want to say it's bad incubator. We didn't do well with it. But the video's on there if you want to check it out. Hike Girl MN, Minnesota, is in the house from Minnesota. There you go. See? I knew it. Jan's in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Crystal's Quail says, thank you, Zach, about the sex link info. Not a problem. Happy to help. And we might put that back on. I just don't know how we want to do it. I was thinking that we would put on shortly, it's a sex-linked mix where we would do 30 jumbo wild eggs and 30 Egyptian eggs. You hatch those out and then make your own sex links from those. That wouldn't be too bad, but we had a lot of people buying sex links years ago that thought, I'm going to buy these eggs and they're sexlings forever, but it's not. You have to set up the breeding program, which in that case was 2 generations. So yes, they hatched out sexlings, but they can't do it again for another 2 generations. Whereas if we do 30 jumbo wilds and 30 Egyptians, or half and half of whatever you order, if you order 60, then it'd be 30-30. If you order 30, it'd be 15-15, whatever the case may be. Then you would hatch those out, put them in the cage, and that would be your sexlings. We might do that, but it was very confusing to people, so I just kind of stopped with it for a while. But yeah. Jan says, hello, Zach and everyone. Joe and Jan from Indiana. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Carl's in the house. I have jumbos from Myshire and had the feeder on the outside of the cage, 1 by 1/2 inch mesh. The quail had trouble pulling their head back in. Have you come across this issue? No, we have not. Our feeders are, no, I have not. Our feeders are inside the cage. We do use a lot of Wynola Ranch cages, and those are on the outside of the cage, and we haven't had, there was one cage that we actually had to cut a middle section out of. So, the wires, it's 1 by 2. We cut one out so that they had pretty much 2 portals to get into, and that fixed that. But other than that cage, we haven't had any issues at all. Hiker Girl says, is there any way to get smaller amount of eggs on your website? There's not. Our smallest quantity is 30%, but there's a reason to that madness. And so just very quickly so you guys understand. So the reason our minimum amount is 30 is because we think that that's the minimum amount that people are going to be happy with. So what you got to remember is, let's just say you want 4 or 5 birds, right? You just want a couple of eggs a day. That's fine. But what you got to remember is, if you order 30, now we're averaging a 72+% hatch rate this year. We averaged a 74+% hatch rate all last year. But the national average is 50%. So that's the numbers we go off of. So if you order 30, you're going to get 32. Let's just assume you're going to get 50% hatch rate. So easy math, that's 15. Now half of those that hatched are going to be male, because it's a 50-50 ratio. Not always, but that's the general thumb. So that means out of that 15, you're going to have about 6 or 7 hens, right? So that means you're going to get anywhere from 4 to 6 eggs a day. So that's why our minimum is 30. In my opinion, if we offered less, like if we offered you, let's say we offered you a 15 count, right? Let's say you get 50% hatch. Let's say that's 8. We'll just say 8. That gives you 4 hens, unless you get more males, which does happen. But let's just say best case scenario is you get 4 hens. You might get 2 eggs a day, maybe 3. So that's why we do the 30 count. We think that in the long run, especially for newbies, they're going to appreciate those numbers more than getting discouraged because they did all that and now they have, 2 eggs a day and they needed more. And so we do the 30 count. Is the madness behind that. The method behind that madness. I think that's correct. Vase Place has any signs there will be pups this spring? I don't think so. God, I hope not. I'm not ready yet. But no, I don't think so. Robert says, is it recommended to spray something to sanitize eggs before hatching? I saw some videos recommending Listerine and water. No, not necessary at all. We did that when we started because that was the big old half Listerine, half water sprayed on there. And then I went full time on the farm, I don't know, 7 years ago maybe. And I kind of took over the barn, and Jenna kind of went back to the focusing on homeschooling and the paperwork and the, labels and all that. And I was just lazy. Like, it was just a lazy thing. Like, I was like, I don't feel like spraying these stupid eggs and finding the Listerine, and like, I don't want to do it, so I'm just putting them in. And then we noticed that there was no hatch rate difference at all. And then I told Jenna that I don't spray the eggs. And she goes, well, you have to. And I said, why? And she goes, because I always have. And I said, why? And she goes, I don't know, because someone told me I was supposed to. And I said, well, I didn't. And I get the same hatch rates you do. And then we tested it and wrote down all the numbers for like 3 months. And I finally convinced her that there was no difference at all. And she was like, fine, do what you want. So it really was out of a laziness issue. Yeah, no difference at all. You don't need to do that at all. Megan says, when you do Quail do you get to purchase a shirt or hoodie after? LOL. We were talking about that, but that never came to fruition. I think it'd be nice to try that again and try to get that into place, but not right now. Someone Terry says, some people do. Oh, you're not talking to me. Fat Country said, what is the weight on the jumbo whites? We don't have jumbo whites on the website right now. Completely took them off. I'm working on them individually, and so yeah, you can't order any at all. Crystal's Quail says, don't remember who brought up hatching time, but it's not worth the cost. I have the Quail plucker, and Right Farm is better. Another farmer didn't like their brooders. There you go. Somebody that's done it. May Cole is in the house. Welcome. We're glad to hear from New Hampshire. Very good live. Well, thank you very much and welcome. Hopefully I said that correctly. If I didn't, feel free to correct me. I do not get my feelings hurt, and I'd like to say it correctly. Robert says, are those with great hatch rates wiping off poop-covered eggs before putting in an incubator, ignoring it, or another plan? So I wear overalls in the barn, and George makes fun of me because I wear them all year. It's not well, right now I wear overalls and a hoodie underneath and like 5 pairs of pants, and then I tuck my socks into my pants and wear a hat because it's like stupid cold out. But like even in the summer, I'll still wear my overalls, maybe just with shorts and a shirt underneath. But those are my get dirty because like literally I don't have any nice clothes anymore. Because I would wear jeans down there, and I would wear my stuff down there, and my nice shirts, and then, there's a little poop, and I'm just, so my overalls are my handkerchief, I guess you can say, for the quail eggs. Yeah, if there's a little bit on there, I'll just wipe it off on my pants, and most of the time that's fine. If it's kind of like a little hardened on there, then I just toss the egg. But if it's soft and it just comes right off, and not a big deal at all. But if it's a little hard underneath, then no, we just pitch it. S.O. Swanson says, can we get 10 more likes to hit the 130? Oh, we're at 2. We need 2 more likes to hit 130 likes. So if you can, hit the like button, support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And we will have 130 likes, which was our goal tonight. Well, our goal was 100, and then we hit 100 fairly early. And so I was like, well, let's try 130. And so we're 1 away from hitting 130 now, because now we're at 131. Let's try to go for 150. Why not? Let's just keep going. I don't know. So hit the like button, support the channel, and let's try to hit 150. But everyone that has liked the channel tonight and liked the video, the 136 of you that have, we really appreciate you. Thank you for your support, and we're happy to help. Ask your questions. We're still here, and thank you for being part of the community. We really appreciate it. Billy says, how can I prevent quail from picking on each other? You need to make sure that you're using a lot of best practices. So 16 to 18 hours of light a day, constant food and water where they never run out. Make sure they have plenty of area to eat and or drink so they're not fighting over that. 3 quail per square foot, 5 hens to every 1 male. Is just a starting point. But I do have a detailed video on aggression on our YouTube channel. So again, if you type into the YouTube search bar aggression by Myshire Farm, that video will come up. Some of what I just said will be in that video, but it's a much slower version and it goes in depth about it. So you can check that out as well. But those are just some good practices. So Terry says, LOL, Zach, you and your secrets, incubators lie. You sure wouldn't be able to, I feel. You want people to know things so much. Are you mailing to Canada now? The video is coming out tomorrow, but let's just say Myshire is going international. it's, yeah, screw it. It's very important for myself. It's very important for Jenna. It's very important for Myshire that there's so many aspects of homesteading. So it really is a lifestyle, right? Like it's really something that you just really have to focus on. And I'm not just talking about quail. I mean, there's gardening and there's pigs and there's goats and there's chickens and there's quail and there's rabbits and there's, you know, you name it. I mean, there's multiple things that you can do on a homestead or a farm or a backyard. There is just, and maybe there always has been, and I just didn't realize it, or I wasn't paying attention. That could easily be it. But it really seems like in the past, we'll say couple of years, we'll say 5. We'll say in the past 5 years, it really seems that having a little control over your food sources, and things like that is really vital. Like to me, it's more important than ever to do that. There's so many different things going on in the world from every region of the world. It just, we don't know where we're going to be next week. Like it's crazy. And I'm not talking about, fear mongering or anything like that. I'm just saying it's nice to be able to have a little bit of control. You know what I mean? In my opinion, quail is an amazing tool, amazing animal that you can raise anywhere. Apartment, backyard, shed, garage, farm, homestead, ranch, wherever you want. You need a little bit of space, a couple of cages, you're off to the races. You're going to have constant meat and eggs. I think that if you're already homesteading, you've got a lot of land, it's a great extra addition. I think that if you're just starting out, it's an amazing starter animal to get you more involved with self-sufficiency. And so that's very important to us. And so there's many different avenues. Again, the gardening and the pigs and the goats and the chickens and the bees and you can go in so many different areas in homesteading, right? And I don't discourage any of them. There's some that are not for me. There's some that are for me. And you do you. Like, I'm not a gardening person. I don't believe in gardening. I don't like vegetables. I don't like fruits. I don't like eating healthy, but Jenna makes me. And I don't have the patience to sit there and spend $45 on planting a tomato and then waiting 3 months and then eating said tomato. And it's like the most expensive tomato that I've ever eaten in my life. I get the appeal that other people want to do it. Jenna loves it, and I'm glad she loves it because I hate it. So we work really well together, right? But I can't sit here and talk to you about gardening because it's just not my thing. It's not my passion, and there's nothing wrong with that. And with homesteading, one big thing that we don't talk about that we probably should is homesteading is also a community that come together. So I might hate gardening, but my neighbor might have a green thumb and is amazing at gardening, but doesn't like raising animals. I don't mind raising animals. I don't mind raising them. I don't mind brooding them. I don't mind butchering them. My neighbor, which is the gardener, might really have issues with some of that or all of that. We can work together and we can say, okay, here's the meat. Oh, great. Here's your vegetables and fruits. And we go, cool. We work together, and now we are a team being self-sufficient together. I said all that to say this. I think that it's very important that we try to encourage as many people as we can to be self-sufficient. If you're watching this right now, maybe you're into quail already, maybe you're thinking about getting into quail, but one thing that we almost all have in common is that we want to be a little bit more self-sufficient. We want to have a little bit more control over what we eat, how it's raised, so on and so forth, right? Well, Canada is no different. So we have opened up a farm in Canada, And we have spent thousands of dollars importing eggs this year. And we just got back from Canada, putting all the breeders together. And so the video tomorrow is going to announce that starting March 1st, we will be shipping Myshire eggs all over Canada, from the BC to Ottawa to Ontario to I don't know much more. All over Canada on a weekly basis. It is all legal. It all has the right paperwork. The eggs are there, so they're not having to be imported each time, which means you're going to get much better hatch rates. We're going to be guaranteeing a 50% hatch rate. Now, can you get every single color individually? Not at this time. It's a slow process. We again, start small and build, right? But you will have different options. We put all the breeders together. Jen and I personally went down there and had a very big hand in that. So there's going to be fab fees, Egyptian fees, a lot of celadons, massive jumbo wilds, huge jumbo Egyptians, a good variety of jumbo mix, golds, autumn ambers, pearls, pansy fees, cosmos, variety choice, feather sexable mix, rare mix, and more. So I mean, there's plenty of options. There's going to be plenty of options for Canada. But that has been something that we have worked, feels like tirelessly on since for a while. And we got the USDA involved. We got their approval. We've got vets to come out to the farm. They've done inspections. They've done paperwork. We've imported eggs, we exported eggs consistently, and I am very excited that starting March 1st, Myshire is international. So we will be able to provide hatching eggs this year we're going to be providing hatching eggs and live birds anywhere in the U.S. Except for Hawaii, because Hawaii hates me, and that's my next goal. But they really do hate me a lot, and I don't know if I'm going to get through that. But anywhere in the U.S. minus Hawaii, hatching eggs and live birds all over. We are now able to legally ship to Puerto Rico at any point in time for hatching eggs, not live birds. And Canada, hatching eggs all year, and no live birds this year. Again, slow and steady wins the race. We want to make sure we're doing things right. And so that's the big thing coming out tomorrow. But you guys are the only ones that know that. So shh, until my video posts. I lost my spot now. So yeah, long story short, we have a Myshire Farm Canada division. That's how I'll say it. We have a Myshire Farm Canada division now that's able to ship anywhere in Canada. And the way we did it, here's just another little cool fact. The way we did it, we did not increase our egg prices. We did not increase like a handling fee. There won't be any extra secret things. We're going to do flat shipping for the first year because shipping in Canada is difficult and very odd. And some places ship to some places, and then if you're shipping somewhere else, you have to use a different shipping service, and it's a nightmare. So we need to get used to that and things like that. So the first year it's going to be a flat shipping rate anywhere in Canada. We're going to be shipping out weekly. We're going to be, we're working with a farm down there that is doing it, and so we've got Myshire Farm, and now we have Myshire Farm Canada division. And I think it's going to go great. I really do. I'm very excited about it. It's been a lot of hard work and a lot of time, but I'm very excited about it. We'll be announcing that tomorrow, And hopefully it goes great and we start expanding to other places. That'd be super cool too. But let me get through Canada. Let's get Canada going. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. When we were there, I think it's going to go great. I really do. I think that we're going to get a lot of people interested and involved with quail in Canada, and I think it's going to be great for everybody. I really do. So, and we really, it's time. It's time we take the next step in promoting self-sufficiency. And if quail's not your thing, that's okay. But if we get you to start thinking about homesteading or self-sufficiency in any manner, whatever intrigues you, then we did our part. You know, if quail's not for you, that's okay. I don't know why. I think you're weird. No, I'm just joking. It's not for everybody. I get it. Just like gardening's not for everybody either. And there's gardening friends and my wife and father-in-law that think I'm nuts for not being interested in gardening. And maybe I would be if I had to be. You know what I mean? Like if my wife wasn't interested and things like that, then I think it's important. It's just something I'm not interested in doing. I don't have the patience for it. So quail's not for everybody, but if we can get people to start thinking about raising their own animals or where their meat's coming from or how they're being raised or this, that, and the other, then I think we did our part. And it is now time to go international, which is very exciting. And I learned a lot of stuff about Canada. Kilometers per hour is very difficult for me. I can't see that small on my dashboard, you know, because you've got the miles per hour and then underneath that is those little tiny kilometers per hour, and whoo, that's rough. And then we stopped to get gas. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. So my card won't work. And so I go inside and I'm like, yeah, I need 15 gallons. And they're like, we don't do gallons here, we do liters. And I was like, can I have $30 worth? And she's like, we could do that. And I said, I want $30 worth of liters. So anyways, we found out that Genesis Jeep takes 28 liters on a quarter of a tank to fill up. So we learned that. We could have learned a couple other things. Like it's similar but very different. But we had a great time through this whole process. We're working with some really great people. And there's a lot of nice people in Canada, unless they're driving. For some reason, it seems like they have multiple personality when they're driving and then when they're not driving. When they're not driving, nicest people in the world. When they're driving, kind of rude. At least that was my experience so far. But it was bad. We drove through a snowstorm, and it was pretty bad. In fact, we actually had to stop and stay somewhere for the night because I couldn't see the road. I mean, literally, we were driving on ice. But they did great clearing it the next morning. We got down there and no tickets, no one died, car didn't break down, had a great time there. The quail look absolutely amazing. Like the size of the jumbos were fantastic. The colors of the celadons were awesome. The variety choice mix is great. I think one of them, one out of over 1,000 had a bad back, which means, the ratio was right and the quail per square foot was correct. The feed is amazing. The brooders look great. It was awesome. And we were doing it in, -6-degree weather. A couple weeks ago, they were at -20 degrees when they were only like 2 or 3 weeks old, and lost some power, and they're doing great. They're doing great. So I think it's going to be awesome. All right, enough about that. We'll get back to your guys' questions. Enough about me. Jesse Mill says the floor on the cages is 1/2 inch by 1 inch PVC coated. That sounds right. I think I said 1 by 2. That's too big. Yep, 1/2 by 1. No, 1 by 1. We did change it to 1 by 1. Yeah. Emma says, hey y'all, glad to see you back at the live, Zach. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. SZ says, can I have 2 male quail in a cage with 10 female quail? Yep, not a problem at all. It's called colony breeding. That's what we do here. So we've got, we'll just say 50 hens and 15 males, you know what I mean, in one cage, as long as it's 3 quail per square foot. Also, when feeding Purina game bird layer, it states do not feed the male quail. So do I need to feed the male separately? Nope. Feed the male quail. It's not a big deal. Won't hurt the males. And I wish they would stop saying that. It's really annoying. There we go. Laura Wallace says, I have both jumbo and standard Coturnix quail from Myshire Farm. My question is, what do you look for in replacement stock out of your hatches? I do keep the standard and jumbo separated. So jumbos, I look for weight. It really depends on where you weigh them at. So for example, we weigh ours at 8 weeks old here in on Myshire. We weigh them at 8 weeks old, and they have to be above 12 ounces. At 8 weeks old, they have to be. If not, then we don't use them for jumbos. Now, that's a very high standard, so you don't have to start there. You can work yourself up. Now, in Canada, we weighed them right under 6 weeks old because that's when we could only go up. So we couldn't go up when they were 8 weeks old because I'm busy. So we weighed them early, and our cutoff was, I think it was 9 ounces. So at 5 weeks and 5 days old, they had to be 9 ounces or above to make weight. And so, you know, you just got to have a standard, whatever that is. If they don't make weight, they don't make weight. They don't go into the program. If they do make weight, those are your jumbos. And as far as the colors go, it really depends on what you're looking for. You know, we're looking for color pattern. We're looking for variety. You know, I'm not a big believer that you should put all heterozygous fab fees in a cage. I'm a big believer that you put hetero and homozygous fees. They look a little bit different, but they're both fab fees. I like the variety, and I like the mixture of genetics. I also like that you're not inbreeding so much, so you're maintaining that health for generations to come, multiple generations. Like Vay's Place said earlier, she's went 20 generations without having any inbreeding issues at all, and she's bred hers by inbreeding over and over and over for 20 generations that she got from us. The way we do it here, it takes a long time for you to see any issues with inbreeding because of how we do our product, our breeding program, if that makes sense. Dale is in the house. It says, good evening, Myshire and friends. Wisconsin here, and boy, we sure are busy. That's wonderful to hear from Dale's Quails. Sounds busy, but you can still check them out. If you want brooders or cages, you can check out dalesquails.com. They're here every year at QuailCon. They're great friends. They support the 18 Under contest every year, and we are proud to be friends with them, for sure. Mojo says, how do you figure out which hen is laying not normal eggs? The only way to do, I mean, you might be able to vent sex, but it's very difficult. The only way to do it is to separate each hen individually and then let them lay eggs. Betamal Farm is in the house. Says my fertility rates are steady at 90%. That sounds great. I think our fertility rate's about 92 to 95%. Again, we're hatching an 80, 85% because some just don't hatch or things like that. But with your fertility rate being at 90%, that means you should be averaging an 80 to 85% hatch rate, which is exactly where you should be. So you're doing great. Dale said, Zach, 61 out of 90 jumbo wilds, even bigger lost in the male for a while. Even being lost in the male for a while. I'm still liking the 61 out of 90, though. That's pretty good. Wilds. Awesome. Thank you very much for letting me know, too. And good job. You're pretty good at that hatching thing, though. You're pretty used to it. We still get a video of the quail that had cool coloring. That is on my list. We've had a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, that is on the list for sure. I did write it down. Fred's in the house, says good show. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Megan says I built my incubator with my hubby, but he's an oceaneering engineer, so we did a lot of research and tested in ours for a week first. Hope it works well. Well, good luck. I wish you the best. having an engineer is a little bit different. That would probably work for you guys. That's kind of what, yeah, that works pretty well. So good luck. I'm sure you're going to do great. Dale says, is it QuailCon time yet? Not yet. I will be starting to work on that very shortly, but not yet. Crystal Quail says, Zach, I have 100% Celadons. Congratulations. That's very cool. So and Terra says, plus with all the genetic material, not inbreeding issues, you get thicker cells, which is what a lot of Celadons have typically had issues with, right? It can be. That could definitely be one. I mean, yeah, yes, that could be one of the issues. But in the past, there's been multiple issues with the Celadons. I really think that it's because we needed to take a step back and we needed to start from ground zero. And that's what we did. And man, I've never been happier with any of the colors. I'm so proud of the Celadons this year. I really am. We worked very hard on those. Fred says, we love our gray or silver Celadon. Very cool. S.O. Swanson says, QuailCon, 195 days. Dear God, that terrifies me. We have wilds and tuxedo, 100% Celadon, but for locals only. There you go. I like the wild Celadons. That's pretty good. Crystal Quail says, oh shit, didn't mean to post yet. Mine are mostly tuxedo now, but they're big and I add a bloodline annually. There you go. TM says, hello everyone, just made it. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Robert says, for now I'm using a humidikit once lockdown starts to up the humidity. Absolutely. Juan says, good afternoon, guys. I have a problem. I have been losing almost a quail a day. They show signs of lethargy, droopy wings, then die the next day. What could it be and how can I treat it? Sounds a lot like it's a feed issue. I would change your feed immediately. I would type into the YouTube search bar feed by Myshire Farm and watch what kind of percentages you need, what kind of ingredients you need, match that up with a better feed. And yeah, I mean, it could be something else, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a feed issue, especially if you're losing that many and they're acting lethargic. It's most likely a feed issue. Megan says, do they do quail raising in 4-H? In some places, yes. It's becoming more popular, but yes. No one's talking to me. One says, oh, you're not talking to me. Robert says, Myshire Farm, what's an ideal feed for layers that are used to hatch out chicks? I know you have your own mix, but is there a good one readily available or a specific one to look for in retail stores? As far as grow outs or chicks go, we don't customize our feed. We use a pheasant starter. Now, for our layer feed, we customize our feed. But no, we just use a Klombach in stock feed for our grow outs and chicks. And it's a pheasant starter. And that video is on our website as well, feed by Myshire Farm, and it'll say something about, grow out feed part 1 or something like that. And then part 2 is our layer feed. David Cobb says, I received 50 jumbo wild eggs from you and they hatched out, but I have tubers that are a lighter shade and was wondering if there was a different variety. Most likely they're jumbo Egyptians, but I would have to see them. But yeah, there's different colors in the jumbos. One, I would change out the feed completely. 16% should be fine, but they're obviously missing something. Could be fiber, could be calcium, it could be something. Yeah, I would switch out your feed. Uh, let's see. Riberio, I hope I said that correctly. If I didn't, you're more than welcome to correct me. Recently got eggs from you guys and had an extremely great hatch rate after I switched up my incubator, now currently using Hatching Time Incubator. In my last hatch from you guys, exit was 80%. Wonderful to hear. Congratulations. You did great. Congratulations. I'm glad you're getting a very high. That's huge. 80% hatch rate on shipped eggs. You're doing awesome. Congratulations and keep it up. Bill says the minimum amount of eggs I put in the incubator is 40, so your logic makes perfect sense to me. There you go. Works for me too. Garrett B Company says any new color jumbos in the works? Not right now. We're working on the jumbo whites. I want to perfect them and make them much bigger. Their eggs are massive. I'd like them to get a little bit bigger, and I'd like to do a couple things with them. So I'm working on those this year. But our jumbo white wings are almost the exact same size as our jumbo wilds, which are the two largest. And our jumbo Egyptians are still large. They're still like 12 ounces at 10 weeks old or above, but they're laying almost standard size. Well, they're laying larger eggs, but as far as the production standpoint, like if you order standard eggs, you know, if you order golds or scarlets, rosettas, Tibetans, BTAs, something that's non-jumbo, you're going to get more eggs per year, but they're going to be smaller eggs and lesser meat. The jumbos are going to lay less eggs per year, but they're going to be larger meat and larger eggs. The jumbo Egyptians are large eggs, large meat, and we're getting them very close to laying just like a standard is as far as production goes. So those are the things we're working on this year, rather than a new color. We're always working on something. But right now we're working on the whites. We're continuing to work on the celadons and a brand new sex light. Happy Homestead says, how long till the whites are available to order again? Zach, they've been in the calmest and friendliest birds. They have been my calmest and friendliest birds yet, and the colors I got mixing them with the pearls were amazing. That is wonderful to hear. Unfortunately, the whites will probably be off for probably another 2 to 3 months. I want to do it right. I don't want to have to worry about it later on. And I'm really liking our progress in what we've been doing lately. As far as the celadon work and the jumbo Egyptian work and the jumbo white wing work and I'd like to take my time on it. Sorry. Pettimall Farm says, night all. Nice to be here again. I'm glad you're back. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. S.O. Swanson says, Zach, stop being greedy on the likes. There you go. We're at 141. If we can, I just need 9 more likes. I know we're just trying to hit 150 likes tonight, so if you haven't already, hit the like button, support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it, and we'll try to get there. I think my motor is bigger than his pond is deep. I think you're talking... Oh, you're talking to Egg Got Big. Megan says, do you recommend electrolytes when they first drink just out of incubator? I don't. I'm not saying it's a horrible idea. You can if you want. The only time we give them electrolytes is when they're going through a stressful time. So when they're moving from the heated brooder room to the uninsulated, non-heated main barn into a cage. When we're moving them, when they start laying, when they're molting, like when they're going through a stressful time, a change in their life, is when we do that. Now, that would make sense to say, well, they're brand new, that's a change, but they really don't need it right at first. But at about 3 to 4 weeks old, when you're moving them to a colder area, into a cage, that's when we first start doing it. We do have bass in the pond, and trout, and rainbow fish. Billy says, how can I become more successful with quail? What I would really recommend is watching as many YouTube videos as you can. We've got a ton of them, but something that's very easy is check out quailuniversity.com. There is a course that you can purchase. It's just $49, but it's called Quail 101. We put this together last year with Time and Timber Homestead and Linda Easton Waller, and we put all this information together. It's all in one spot. It's chapter after chapter. So it's what do I start with? Incubation process, brooding process, putting breeders together, introducing new quail to an existing flock, butchering. I mean, it's literally marked, and it's all yours once you purchase it. So you can go back and forth as many times as you want, watch whatever you want to watch, whenever you want to watch it. It's all in one place. You know what I mean? It also has spreadsheets as far as quail math. How many quail do I need for being self-sufficient? How many quail do I need to butcher a month so that my family can eat, 2 meals a month on this? Or whatever the case may be. You put in your own numbers, it gives you those numbers. So I would highly recommend checking out quailuniversity.com. Let's see. Robert says, what about adding probiotics or something for adults? Worth it? I'm on well water. We're on well water as well. We've tried to do that before. I don't think there's any harm in it, but we just never saw a benefit of it. The death rate never changed. Egg production never changed. They're pretty. I mean, they pretty much take care of themselves. Yeah, we don't. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. We just never saw the benefits of continuing to do it. But we did it for about almost 2 years. Consistently, like once a month we would do it. We would change, clear out the waters. We would put the probiotics in there. Sometimes we used electrolytes, Save a Chick electrolytes in the waters, and then we would put Rooster Booster in the feed and mix that in, to just kind of boost them a little bit. And it never seemed to do any. It was just extra work, so we just stopped doing it. Now again, when they're starting to lay, or when when they're stressed out, or maybe when the weather changes, or when they're molting, something like that, that stuff is going to help them get through that experience. But doing it just on a regular basis for no specific reason, we didn't see a benefit of. Hopefully that makes sense. I hope I explained that correctly. So when Terry says all self-sufficient skills are valuable, knowing people who know these skills is also valuable. Absolutely. So when Terry says that's awesome, Zach. Thank you very much. A lot of congratulations. I'm assuming about the Canada thing. Thank you very much. So when Terry says, no wonder you've been not doing lives. You've been busy. We have been. We really have been. Delaney says, nice accomplishments. Thank you very much. And yes, they will be ordering, Canada will be ordering eggs on our website, yes. We're going to be very hands-on as far as, who orders, when they order, how long they go out. Like there's going to be a lot of communication. Witch Doctor says, so happy for you, Zach. Go Canada. Absolutely. Robert says, Hawaii has all sorts of problems. It's not just you, Zach. There you go. Nikki James says, that's great accomplishment, Zach. Thank you very much. So and Terry says, don't tell Zach your secrets. Nope. It's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Can't keep my mouth shut. But I'm not a good liar, so that's a good thing. I'm not ashamed of that. S.O. Swanson says, if anyone tells, we'll know who you are. Canada, there you go. Or it'll be traced back to me and I'll get in trouble from Jenna. Congrats. Thank you very much for all the congrats. Witch Doctor says you should try shipping snakes. It's crazy what you go through, I'm sure. Robert B says, is there a site that shows good images of various types of Chinese quail so I can learn what's what by seeing it? Mostly Egyptian versus Pharaoh and my priority now. Well, first of all, we had a professional photographer come out and take brand new pictures of, I don't know, they were like 5-day-old chicks. And then she came out 6 weeks later and took pictures of the exact same quail when they were 6 weeks old. So on our website, there's pictures of chicks and adults of every single color done by a professional. We also have sent those to Linda Easton Waller, which is part of Quail University, and she is going to be putting together like a poster or something like that where they're all together on one thing. So we're working on that currently, which is another big project. And yes, Myshire Farm is now international. Very excited about it. S.O. Swanson says, great pictures on Myshire website, including the new chick pics. Yep, absolutely. Thank you very much. Lisa says, congratulations on the Myshire Canada. Thank you very much. Crystal says, I hate gardening. I prefer animals. Yeah, it's not for everybody, but that's why we all work together. Chris says, did you say hey or a? I think I still said hey. It's sometimes I don't know. And so Swanson says, Zach, in a new vehicle, you can press a button, it changes to KPH, just saying. Yeah, we don't buy new vehicles. We don't really care what we drive as long as it drives. So that we didn't have that option. But, you know, it would be nice to be fancy. One day. Patty's Garden Feathers is in the house. Welcome. Thank you very much for the congratulations. Robert B says, gardening is all about growing things that are almost impossible to kill. Try sweet potatoes. I like Japanese ones. Edible leaves and super hardy if you live in the South or somewhere that's hot. There you go. It's a patience thing for me. Like I want to, that's why I love quail. Like I hatch them out and in 6 weeks while they're growing, I'm taking care of them every day. Now they're laying eggs every day for me. With gardening, it's like the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you're just watering dirt and you don't see any growth. And then you see a little stem and you're like, oh my God, 2 more months and I'm gonna have a plant. And I don't have the patience for it. I can't do it. It's too much. It's too much for me. Lisa says, LOL, I've driven to Montreal and it was insane. They are crazy people when they drive. Sometimes. No, it was bad weather, so I'm sure we were all just irritable, I'm sure. Oh, we went from one by half. Thought we did one by. Okay, I believe you. So we did 1 by half in our cages. I should probably remember that. I feel like we did 1 by 1, but I guess we didn't. Oh, I did order 1 by 1, but that's what wasn't for the barn. Right. That was for the aviary. I knew I ordered 1 by 1 because it's super freaking expensive. Right. Yeah, everybody's right. 1 by half. Robert B says, any way to keep poop out of the egg rollouts? I collect eggs 3 to 4 times a day and rinse out egg collection tray to keep them as poo free as possible. I don't know how they do it, but it's like they somehow pick up their poo and throw it on the egg rollout edge. Yeah. No, not really. I mean, it's not like covered or anything, but like you'll get some poop balls that are just like next to the eggs, and it's like you're all the way in there. Like you had to throw it 3 inches, which is a lot for a quail, to get it over here. Like I don't understand I'm assuming it just rolls down, but still it's excessive sometimes. I get it. I'm with you. Emma Ball says, would you recommend the same breeding program for EBs too? So Rosettas and together to produce both. Same for Italians, Manchurians. This is my plan, but not heard anyone recommend it. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what we do. So if you go on our website, you see that we sell Rosetta / Tibetans. They're together. That means they're going to be healthier. You're going to get more variety. You don't have to worry about inbreeding so much. So yeah, absolutely. Italians, Manchurians, yes. And with that, you want to do the Manchurian males and the Italian hens, and your offspring will be larger and more vibrant and better layers. Laura Wallace says, I got rare colors from Myshire Farm. They were hatched out a week ago. I have 2 chocolate colored babies. What color would they be? Most likely Graufi, but hard to say. Most likely Graufi, though. Tim W says, can you breed temperament or is it random? No, you would breed for some temperament, but remember that a very large percentage, a very large portion of temperament is an environment. So that doesn't mean that you still don't breed for it, but there's a much bigger impact with the environment than it is breeding, if that makes sense. Mojo23 says, do you do farm tours? Wave. We would love to see your farm and meet Jenna. We do not, except for QuailCon. QuailCon is on our farm once a year. It's I don't know, August 1st through September 2nd or something like that this year. And we do a 2-day event, and we do speakers and workshops and tours and all kinds of stuff. But with the USDA involved with exporting this year to Canada, and with our MPIP, and with how many we ship out, we don't do farm tours on a regular basis. Mojo says, we need birds soon, and wanted to get my wife wanting to go to QuailCon. There you go. We'd love to have you. Has anyone did an outside cage with quail and had any other birds in with them? I've never had my quail with anything else. Yeah, never had my quail with anybody with anything else. Happy Homestead says, that's okay, Zach. I'll keep my eye on your website and plan for sometime in June or July. Congrats on your growth as a biz and success with your different varieties. I'll hatch my own eggs for now. As far as whites go, yep, absolutely. I understand that. I want to do it right and not have to worry about it. So sorry for the inconvenience. But when they're done, they're going to be done. Robert B says, Myshire Farm, thanks for all the great answers. Not a problem. And you were asking a lot of great questions tonight, so thank you very much. And I'm very happy and proud of the entire quail community helping you out. I saw a lot of people trying to help you in the comments as well. And that is what this community is all about, and what this community is for. And I'm very happy to be a part of it. Dale says, had a broody hen hatch a quail egg, then they promptly ate it. Well, that's no bueno. Sorry. Jordan says, sorry, just jumped in. Are there camping spots for QuailCon? There will be. When we start selling them, yeah, there will be camping spots again. Robert B says, Myshire Farm, I love the poster with the different types. Yeah. Again, it'll take some time because we're working on multiple different things right now, but that we've got the pictures done. We just got to put them together. We got to, create it in a poster form. We got to get those printed. I mean, there's a lot of steps, but it is in the works for sure. Jordan says, are they tent spots or either one, RVs or tents? So and Tara says, Zach, alfalfa sprouts take 4 days. I don't like alfalfa. I don't want it. I just don't want a garden. We've went through this with Jenna. I don't like it. You can't make me do it. Megan says, how fine do you grind the feed for the new ones? We don't grind at all. I'm not a believer in grinding at all. So I don't ever grind. Robert says, Myshire Farm, flying poop balls. That's what's happening. I know, right? Tony from Toronto is in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. I actually drove through Toronto. They said I was crazy for doing it. I should have went a different route, but we'd never been to Canada, and so me and Jenna, we went through. Lord, we pretty much drove all the way through Ontario, which Ontario is very large, very, very large. Nice, but very large. Toronto, we hit some traffic. Let's just say that. Holy Mother of God. But very pretty, very pretty. S.O. Swanson says, I'm telling Aaron you said 8-1 to 9-2 for QuailCon. We'll be there. 8:31. I said 31. It just cut out. David says, I have my quail under an outside shelter, and I have sparrows building nests up in the top of the shelter. Could this be a problem? With sparrows, probably not. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I don't think it's a bad idea to put a solid top on your roof. Some metal or something like that, some siding, just so that poop's not dropping in. But no, you should be fine. A lot of people raise them outside and don't have any issues at all. So why? Billy says, what are the best quail for laying? BTAs, the tuxedos, BTAs, scarlets, and rosettas, and Tibetans. Those are the absolute best layers. They are all straight run. They're not feather sexable. The best feather sexable color is the Egyptian fees and the golds and the autumn ambers. But they're the best feather sexable laying productive birds. The best ones are the non-feather sexable, which is the BTAs, the scarlets, and the Tibetan rosettas. It's a good question. Mojo23 says, can we pick up live birds on site? We do not. We do not do farm pickups or tours this year. We actually stopped a couple years ago. They made us a hatchery. There's a whole lot of extra stuff going on. And then we were starting to get that under control. And then we started doing this Canada thing and exporting, and USDA got involved. And so, yeah, we're not doing any pickups, unfortunately. Excuse me. Billy says, how can I keep quail from picking on each other? You can use as many best practices as you can. Actually, after this, you can look on YouTube in the search bar and type in aggression by Myshire Farm. There's going to be a good detailed video that comes up about that. But a few little best tricks real quick would be 3 quail per square foot, 5 hens to every 1 male, 16 to 18 hours of light a day. Always have feed and water. Make sure that the feeder and the water are large enough for how many you have in there, so they're not fighting over who's eating first. Is just a few of the examples of the best practices, but the aggression by Myshire Farm video will give you a lot more detail, in depth, and go a little bit slower to explain the process. Andy Rabbit's in the house. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Emma Ball says, would you consider doing a video on biosecurity and have the measures to take as a breeder? I was considering having people come pick the birds up, but is this a hazard? No, I think you'd be fine. I wouldn't feel okay. So for years and years and years, we did farm pickup. Wasn't a big deal. We're kind of at a larger size now as far as how many we ship out, and with how many orders we ship out in a week. They really just don't think that that's a good thing as far as MPIP and USDA goes. We didn't really build the barn. We had in mind that we were going to be doing farm pickups and tours when we built the barn. So we don't really have an area where just customers can come in, pick up, and go. You know, the whole barn is being utilized. With that being said, before we built our barn, we were in a shed, and then we were in a barn, and then we were in a 2-car garage. And at that point in time, we did it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you can find a little area where you can meet the customer, because we've tried to do that as well. We've talked to them and said, well, we've got our 2.5-car garage way up here. And then, you know, so our 2.5-car garage is here where the quail used to be. And then we've got our house, and then in the back is our quail barn, right? Well, we said, well, what about if we set up that 2.5-car garage as a little shop for pickups? And they said, well, how, you know, as far as hatching eggs go and getting orders ready, how are you going to get them from there to there? And I said, well, I'll just walk them up. And they said, well, yeah, then you have to change your shoes, and then you have to do this, and then you have to, you know, wash your hands, and then you have to change your suit, and then you have to, and then you have to, and then you have to. And I went, nope, thank you. And then there, you know, and then you have to, we have to put in a path. You know, I can't just walk on the grass. I have to walk on a path. And it was just, they discouraged the hell out of me. So maybe one day we'll get back to that, but not anytime. I can't do it right now. I've got too much stuff going on. And yes, in fact, let's make sure that I wrote that down. I had that on my mind, but I don't know if I ever wrote that one down. So let me look. Oh, dear God, I thought I lost my paper. I did not write that one down, so I will. Bio. Great idea, and I got that written down. What's the difference in color between the wilds and Egyptians? Wilds are dark brown, Egyptians are light red. Megan says, thank you so much for everything. Well, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it, and I had a great night. A lot of great questions. It looks like we're getting to the end, but we had a lot of great questions tonight. So thanks for being here and asking some questions. Mojo says, hit the like. S.O. Swanson, I told you we could do it. We hit over 150 likes tonight. That is absolutely awesome. Really appreciate everybody supporting the channel. Thank you very much. And very happy that we hit our goal. Ethan says, after collecting my eggs, how long do I have to put them in the incubator? 7 to 10 days. So very quickly, from day 1 when they hatch to day 7, there is no change in fertility at all. From day 7 to day 10, you lose about a 5% fertility. So if you're averaging a 90% fertility, you'll go down to 85%, not the end of the world. After day 10, you lose about 5% a day. So, went from 90 to 85, no big deal. Now you're down to 80. All right, well, still it's okay. Then that's day 11. Then day 12, you're at 75%. Then at day 13, you're at 70%. And now it's starting to add up very quickly. So 7 to 10 days is ideal, but with no fertility change at all, 7 days. Great question. Mojo says, is 24 hours of light bad? I do believe so. I think they've become more aggressive that way. They do for sure lack production that way. And you're using a lot more electricity than you have to. So no, 16 to 18 hours is ideal. If you forget to turn the lights off one night or something, it's not the end of the world, but doing it consistently will have them die early, So like you're giving them artificial light in the winter so that they lay during the winter, right? Completely fine. But technically you are shutting off a little bit of their lifespan. So if you just let them lay naturally, then they'll not lay during the winter, and then they'll pick back up in the spring. Not a big deal. Well, they'll lay maybe 2.5 years that doing that way. If you're giving them artificial light, they'll lay for about 2 years instead of 2.5. So you do take some of that off on the back end, but you're getting eggs year long. So when you move it to 24 hours, you're just taking more and more of that time off. Then they're stressed out because it's always daytime to them. So they're not laying as many, and then they're going to stop being productive sooner. So it's really shooting yourself in the foot multiple times, if that makes sense. Billy says, do you raise any other animals? We raise Angus cow, we raise Cooney pigs, we raise chickens, peacocks, rabbits, goats. That might be it for right now. We've done a lot. Bees. We've done a lot of stuff, but that's what I think what we've got now. Gutros Family Farm says, popping in to say hello. Welcome. Glad you're here. I don't know what that means, Anime Gamer. Is any of your stuff registered for shows and stuff? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Andy Rabbit, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Glad you're here. Wayne says, water in my area is very hard. Is that a problem? Also, what about water pH? No, we have well water, and it's the worst well water I've ever seen in my life. Like, we've replaced our water heater probably 5 times in 14 years. Like, it's ridiculous. And we've got a massive filtration system, and it's still just crap. We don't even drink the water. Like, it's not good water. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the softener. So we'll say 5 filtration systems down in our basement, which all the water from the wells go into a cistern. The cistern goes into our house. it goes through all those filters and then into the house, or it goes down to the barn where we have another filtration system, and it's still not great, but they do fine. S.O. Swanson says, I made a tough decision on your oh, you're not talking to me. Robert says, Myshire Farm, are you having days being held for collection rotated for one angle to another during the 7? No, nope. I collect them, and then right now the Gigantor that we never made into Gigantor, so just an empty freezer that's not plugged in, that doesn't work, is just a holding station. So I'll collect the eggs, put them in there, and then on day 7 we put them in. So yeah, we don't rotate at all. No need to. We did that experiment as well, and it didn't change anything. Robert says, I saw a video saying changing the angle of the eggs helps with hatch rates. I set up the rotator to do that 10 times a day for collecting eggs. Does that even help? No. Now, during incubation, yes, you do want to rotate the eggs regularly. But while they're in the holding stage, before you put them in the incubator, there's no need to do that at all. Doesn't help anything. Doesn't affect anything. So if you want to do it, you can, but no need to. Emma says, so would you recommend egg collecting be over a maximum of 10 days before it starts to affect fertility? Would you recommend egg collection be over a maximum of 10 days before it starts to affect? Well, day 1 to day 7, fertility is not affected at all. Day 7 through day 10, you lose about 5% fertility total in those 8, 9, and 10 days, in those 3 days. After day 10, you lose about 5% fertility a day on average. So I would put them in on day I would put them in no later than day 7. But if you're really trying to collect as many as you can and fill up the incubator, day 10 is not the end of the world. We've done that before as well. But after day 10, it's, you're losing a lot of fertility very quickly. So Terry says lifespan he is talking about is how long they lay, not necessarily how long they live. Correct. They are born with all the egg they will lay. It's a finite number for each lady. That's true. Yep. So Terry says, how are the bees? They suck and left again, and I'm not a beer. I'm not a beekeeper. It's not for me. I do enjoy that, but suck at it royally. So they're here. They just found another place to live because they come see me all the time to like mock me in my face. Like, we found somewhere better. You can't bother us anymore. And I say, leave me alone. And I shake my fist at them. Yeah, I've had 2 hives leave me. And they're both close. Like, they're both like, I can still see them. They just don't like me. And it's fine. It's fine. I've learned my lesson. Billy says, what kind of flooring and heat lamp would you recommend for outdoor brooder? I've never done an outdoor brooder. I don't think outdoor brooders are a great idea. They're very heat dependent. They're very vulnerable, especially for the first week. I'm not saying you can't do an outdoor brooder, but it's not something that I would recommend. Mojo23 says, is there even show quail like 4-H? Some 4-H kids are doing quail. We don't raise them for show quail. They're self-sufficient animals. They lay meat and eggs. They're helped to get you to be more self-sufficient. So I'm not really interested in the show thing. Plus, I also feel like it's kind of more judgmental than anything else. Like, we should all just support each other and like, hey, are you becoming more self-sufficient? Yes, I am. Oh, look at my pretty bird. Oh, that is beautiful. Rather than saying, your bird is fine, but it sucks because of this, this, and this. Like, I never got into stuff like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You like it, that's fine. George loves it. He shows chickens, thinks it's awesome. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But it's not for everybody. I get it. Just like gardening. Get it. Someone here says, Zach, maybe let someone have bees on your farm and you get to join in when they check hives and you get some percentage of the honey. I'll do bees again when I retire. I got, you know, too much going on. So one day, I do enjoy it though. That is all of the comments and questions for tonight. Another very long live, which is okay. That is why we're here. A lot of amazing questions, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of great community feel. And I'm very happy about all that. So don't tell everybody about all my secrets, because that video is coming. And I wasn't supposed to say anything tonight, but I can't keep my stupid fat mouth shut. And hopefully Jenna doesn't find out until I post the video, which is already supposed to be posted in the morning. So I just have to last the night, and she never watches my stuff anyway. So as long as she doesn't get any texts, I'm going to be golden. So it's not a big deal at all. But thanks for joining me. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for being part of the community. Thank you for all the likes and the support. I really appreciate you guys. We got some good videos coming your way. Some of them are fun and interesting. Oh God, I broke it. There we go. Some are very educational and everything in between. So hit the like button, support the channel, and we've got some really good videos coming your way. And I am now back at Myshire Farm in Ohio, and we will get started with education on YouTube and on Facebook and all the other social medias, and get more people involved with Coturnix quail. And so stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming your way. I will be back here next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another live Q&A. I hope I see you then. And until then, everybody, have a great night and stay safe. See you guys.